What are the
100%.
connections between those two things, and how, in your experience of working with clients, what do they say to you about the sort of, yes, they're losing weight and feeling better and they can climb up the stairs and do all that sort of stuff. What do they say about the other mental health and intellectual benefits of being in better shape?
Of course. So glad you've asked that, because one, we always say focus on everything else. The physique comes as a byproduct. So never ever go into your journey just thinking I'm looking to lose weight. That's number one. You need to be looking at internals, health markers. How are you feeling? More importantly, in terms of the physiology, we're in a society now in which food is commoditized. It's no longer fuel. Food is a stressor for us. We rely on it as a bit of a stress release. We rely on it for pleasure. We dine out, we get a takeaway, we indulge in high saturated, high sodium, high carbohydrate processed foods. But you break it down, food is literally fuel, like putting unleaded into a car. That is what food is to us. So then you start to break down, okay, if I put...
You're right, hold on, Jeremy. You're not going to take all the fun out of food, are you?
No. I'll get there. Yeah. And balance is key, and that's, let's cover that, because balance is so key. But when you break it down to baseline, you do get, like, this the old saying, you are what you eat. You do get in what you put out, basically, or get out what you put in. So if you're consuming super high carbohydrate diet, high sodium, high sugar, you're gonna feel rubbish internally. From a cognitive standpoint, and there's so many subjects to cover, from breath work, nutrition, training, your circadian rhythm, and your sleep patterns. Like, there's a lot of variables to feeling good and good cognition. But all of them will push oxidation, like oxygen to the brain, oxygen around the body. So, like, in terms of waking up, you wake up with more vitality. If you get your circadian rhythm in sync and your body starts to understand the pattern, which isn't always possible, of I roughly go to sleep this time and I roughly get to get up at this time, your body will sink in. So when you wake up as you come up from a sleep cycle into light sleep, and you'll get out of bed feeling refreshed. That's number one. There's nothing worse than jumping out of bed and just feeling groggy. Never ever snooze the alarm, by the way, because you put yourself back into a sleep cycle. And that is why when you come up from the alarm, you feel more tired than if you had just got up.
That's a great tip.
So never snooze the alarm, maybe on a Sunday. And then when it comes to nutrition, of course, like, you get out what you put in. So if you get rubbish out, if you're consuming a really high carbohydrate diet, but you're not running a 10K that day or putting yourself through a massively 2.5 hour intense workout like an athlete will, you're just going to store it as glycogen. You get energy dips from doing so. Your body consumes a lot of energy trying to digest and process and partition carbohydrates, as it does protein, process called thermogenesis. But what it does when you consume carbohydrates, it will drain blood from your brain, essentially, down to the digestive system. So that feeling, maybe at lunchtime, people dive into a big bowl of rice or pasta, whatever it may be, or bread, some white bread in a sandwich, and you get that kind of lull post lunchtime. There's no productivity, a dip in energy, you get a bit of brain fog, you can't really think. That's why you're pulling all of the nutrients, oxygen, and blood away from your brain to where your body needs it to digest.
But broadly speaking, so the three component parts: nutrition, exercise, sleep. Right? They're the three that we need to focus on.